atrocity of the Gospels. And I would dearly love to go on their show. I would dearly love to debate them. And I've actually put statements on the channel that I'm happy to debate, that I will go on their channel. I've been hampered over the last few weeks because of bad internet, and also the medium that they use is not good for the mobile phone. And if they use Zoom, it would have been better because I could come on their program. And I would dearly love to go on. But I am married to a wonderful wife called Dorcas, and I have some really good friends. And one of my friends I was discussing the other day, and he advised me that the way they are on the Idawa team, the way they do mudslinging, and we saw that the way they treated Samuel Green, it wasn't respectful, it wasn't honourable the way they dealt with him. And Samuel Green is one of the most famous Christian debaters, one of the most famous Christian debaters with against Islamic apologists, and they dealt with him in a very rude way. And anyhow, um, the the thing is that they took a clip of my video that I made, which was about 2 hours long. I've made on Facebook quite a lot of responses to Ijaz Hamed, and I've made some responses on YouTube, and some very scholarly responses on the last ending of Mark, and I've poured a lot of scholarship, a lot of study in refuting him and the Dawah teams. But they took a clip of me and they put it on their channel, and I don't mind that clip. And I was very passionate, and it's part of a 2 hour video. And I was really passionate about the hypocrisy that they were showing. But on Facebook, this same clip that Ijaz Hamis put up, he put angry pastor. And he keeps referring to me now as angry pastor. He's put another quote on Facebook, angry pastor. And I thought to myself today, well, my friend is right, my wife is right. These guys are not playing fair. They're dirty fighters. They don't want gentlemanly academic debate and discussion. If they can throw dirt at you, and I know that Ijaz has thrown dirt at John McClatchell, and he's one of their best debaters in terms of a young man. He's coming up, and he's seen as the new young Ravi Zachariah of the Islamic world, or the young Didat, or the young Zaki Naik. He's seen as that, but he plays very dirty. And in fact, quite a lot of the Islamic apologists, they play dirty. So for example, Mohammed Hijab would not let Cosmic Skeptic use the video that they were doing, the debate, and then actually edits the video. He actually edited the video where he read something wrong, and he edited it, and Cosmic Skeptic exposed him. So that's dirty tactics. Adan Rashid constantly calling fundamentalist Christian debaters at Hyde Park as fundamentalist, as if they're going to be violent. You know, that's dirty tactics towards Hatum and people like that. It's not nice and it's not good. And so, you know, I love scholarship. I love to study. I spend hours and hours studying, and I just enjoy it. I just really enjoy it. And to refute this Darwin, I spent hours on the last few weeks studying. All my notes, my scholarly notes, are in the UK, so I've not been able to bring any to Ghana. So I spent a lot of time studying to go on the Darwin. So my announcement is I'm not going to go on Ijaz's channel, not unless he drops the word angry pastor, not unless he you know, unless Hamza gives a public statement on his channel that if I did come on his channel, that they would be gentlemen, that they would treat me as gentlemen, that they would give me the courtesy of giving my views, and that they would treat me with the utmost respect, unless they made a public announcement um, and made it absolutely clear that if I was to come on their show, that they would treat me with absolute respect and be gentlemen, and that they would um, be a little bit humble and recognize that um, when they accuse people of certain things, that they have to be very, very careful when it comes to their own show, where there's a lot of passive aggressiveness on their show. I'm passionate because um, they they really, really ripped into the Gospels, and they ripped into Samuel Green, they ripped into John McClatchy, and it was really disrespectful. And so I was passionate about my position. So my announcement, my public announcement, is Reverend Jason Burns, president of a theological seminary, is not going to get involved with Ijaz and his team unless they show a higher academic scholarship, and unless they show higher character in the way they deal with people, and in particular with me. If I don't expect it, and I'm not asking for it, but if any Dawa team member, Hamza, Ijaz, or any of the Dawa team invited me to a debate, then I would expect the utmost honesty, fairness, and respect. And I don't see that in the debate scene with the Muslim apologist. And so all the scholarship that I bring to bear is not going to be listened to, it's not going to be analyzed and respected. Um, and so I'm studying and wasting my time trying to refute these people when they're not really interested in truth. So, out of respect to my wife and my friend who I was talking to the other day, I'm not going to get involved with these Islamic Dawah teams. What I am going to do is just plow my own field from time to time and talk about the things that I enjoy and the scholarship that I like to do, and to do my preaching and teaching and things like that on Facebook and YouTube, and just plow my own field and just rebut whatever they say, but in my own way. But I think it's a shame because I put a lot of hours and a lot of study, and they won't allow it to be tested in debate and discussion, but that's up to them. If you have any doubts about whether I can deal with them, look at some of my videos on Facebook, look at my videos on YouTube, and you'll find by far that the scholarship that I bring to bear is way above their pay grade. They don't even know half of the stuff that I bring out. They don't even know how to deal with many of the things that I bring out, because I try to get the best information that I can, and refute them when they were attacking Samuel Green um, on the woman committing adultery. Is it in the Bible? When they were attacking John McClatchy on the last ending of Mark, I put the scholarship on Facebook. I put the scholarship on my YouTube channel. No Muslim apologist has refuted it or even attempt to refute it, because they know they can't refute it. They won't even mention my name. That's how scared they are. And it's not because I'm intelligent. It's not because I'm brilliant. I'm not. I'm just an ordinary guy. But I enjoy study. And when you enjoy study, you dig deep, you look into things, and you present the evidence. And once you present sound evidence of, and you do that, the Muslim Dawah teams, they don't want to face the truth. They don't want to face the fact. I've done an excellent video on the historicity of the Quran. No Muslim apologist has even gone near it to refute it. I've done an excellent video on the last ending of Mark. No Muslim apologist has even gone near it. I've done many videos refuting Ijaz Hamed, and he's not been able to refute anything. So these people are deceiving you, they're not telling you the truth, and I'm not prepared to get involved with people who are going to throw dirt and be dirty in their tactics, because I'm a gentleman. I believe that you should treat people with respect. I believe that you should be a gentleman, and I believe that you should debate fairly. Now, sometimes I'll get very passionate about things, but I can get very passionate when deceit and deception is being brought to bear. I will get passionate about that and get righteously angry about it, because it's not right. It's dishonest and it's deceptive. So that's where I stand. So I'm happy to debate. No Muslim apologist will debate me. Not even no atheist apologists will debate me. They never will debate me. And it's not because I'm clever. It's not because I'm the best of them all. No, the reason why they won't debate me is simple. Is because they do not want to give a platform for the truth. And I'm a gospel preacher. I preach the gospel. I preach the word of God. I preach the truth. And no Muslim or atheist apologist would ever want the truth to have a platform. So that's why I don't get invited to debate some of these main atheists and some of these main Muslim apologists, because they don't want to have the truth presented to you. And so they just ignore me. But if I do expose them, rather than deal with my arguments, they do ad hominem attacks, making silly. And as James says, we're dealing with deceivers, and that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with deceivers. Islam is a deceiving religion. For example, Muhammad went into the cave and had a vision. Where's the eyewitnesses for that? There is no eyewitness for that. So there's deception right off the bat. The Quran, it mentions Mecca in the time of Abraham, but we don't have any evidence for Mecca until the 2nd century AD. We don't have evidence for Mecca till the 2nd century AD. Historians in the 4th century BC who go around Arabia don't mention Mecca. So there's a huge deception, the historical deception of the Quran. The historical deception of the Quran. You have more deception in Islam. You have mentioning tribe that Muhammad mentions a tribe called Thud, and when you look into it, he mentions them in the wrong place and the wrong time. He gets the wrong history wrong with it. He also takes from Jewish fables, such as the Hooper bird, when the Bible talks about Queen of Sheba coming. Muhammad picks up this story, this legend of a Hooper bird and ants fighting birds and all the rest. It's all a load of fable, mythological nonsense, fabrication. So the Quran is full of historical errors, right to its core. It borrows from the Gnostic Gospels, yet uses the Gospel of Luke. So it borrows these Gnostic Gospels that are in the 2nd century AD, but in the birth narrative of the virgin birth, it borrows from the Gospel of Luke. So there's a kind of schizophrenic personality within the Quran. It uses bad. So there's a lot of deception there. Muhammad deceived, the Quran is deceptive, it's historically bad, etc. And then we have issues concerning the Quran's compilation. Uthman burnt the Quran, that's deception, burning the evidence, hiding the textual variants in the Quran. Then we have Bukhari, who destroyed 100,000 stories. So the hadiths is a load of rubbish. He got rid of a load of 100,000 stories of Muhammad when he was making his hadith collection. So there's lots of deception there. hiding things. Even their first biographer, Ibn Ishaq, was known to be a liar. Even the Islamic writers acknowledge that their first biography of Muhammad was a liar. So Islam is full of deception, from Muhammad to the Quran to the early companions, Uthman, to the historians like um, Sayyid Bukhari. Is full of deception. And what we're seeing today is deception amongst the Dawah teams. A lot of these Dawah teams are pro-ISIS. They're secret pro-ISIS. And that has been discovered at High Park Speaker's Corner. Um, if you do your research and find out, you'll find that many of these people who do apologetics at Speaker's Corner are pro-ISIS, and yet they have the cheek to attack Hatum and say she's a fundamentalist Christian, and they attack Godwin and Daniel and Sokol Films and others, Oro, and say that he's a fundamentalist Christian. But these major Islamic apologists in High Park Speaker's Corner, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are known as ISIS supporters. So many of them are ISIS supporters, and these are big names. These are big names who have debated David Wood, who have debated James White. These are big names that have debated the big time boys on our side, but they're known ISIS supporters, the sympathizers with ISIS. Yet they pretend, they make videos pretending that ISIS are attacking them. They make videos saying, oh, ISIS is threatening me, ISIS is attacking me. But yet they're lying through their teeth, they're doing taqiyya. They've been exposed to be ISIS supporters. And the evidence of that is, if you just do your research, just do your own digging about it, you'll find that information. I'm not going to say anything any more specific because of the legalities, because these people are nasty people, and they can soon get lawyers on your back, and they'll have millions of pounds on their side to try and bury you in court. But many of these Islamic apologists are ISIS supporters, and the MI5 and all these security people in London, they don't do anything about it. They don't do anything about it, because if they arrested any one of these main apologists, there would be a backlash from the Islamic people. There'll be riots. So they don't do nothing about it. So you have these people, these Islamic apologists, pretending to the Christian public, to the British public, that we are nice people, that we're lovely people, that we just want to have amicable debate. They'll get people who look like Tommy Robbins supporters on their show, converts to Islam, these white guys, so that they make it look as if they're just these nice English people, but secretly behind the scenes, the Islamic apologists, many of them are ISIS supporters behind the scenes. And politically, if they could blow Israel out of the water, they would do. You know. So that's the new law. That's the deception of these Islamic apologists. So what I'm saying is that for me, I'm not going to get my hands dirty playing with dirt, playing with rubbish, because you mess with these people, and you're not dealing with nice people. And I find that hard to say, because there are some of them that I like. There are some of these people that I like. I think, but I have to be honest with myself, and we have to be honest that they're nasty people behind the scenes. They pretend to be nice, but they're very, very nasty behind the scenes. I mean, I'm going to give you an example. Mohammed Hijab. I like Mohammed Hijab. I've always liked Mohammed Hijab, but it can be very, very nasty. And he's been very, very nasty with Cosmic Skeptic. I mean, the way he's treated Cosmic Skeptic is disgraceful. He gave a veiled threat to Cosmic Skeptic. He actually Cosmic Skeptic has exposed him for editing the debate that they had. Mohammed Hijab edited the debate, and Cosmic Skeptic exposed him. So what does Mohammed Hijab do? Mohammed Hijab gives a veiled threat. He says, be careful, be very careful, because people in your area, and he names the area where Cosmic Skeptic lives, there are Muslims in your area, and they might not like what you say. So it legally is protected because he didn't threaten him, but it was a veiled threat because he's letting the Islamic public know where he lives, the area that he lives, and he's like saying, bullying him, like saying, be quiet or else, but he can't be taken to court or legalities because he didn't actually threaten. But it's still bullying tactics. That's nasty, Mohammed Hijab. That's well out of order, bro. I mean, I don't agree with Cosmic Skeptic. He's an atheist, but I respect his right to free speech. I'll defend his right to free speech. And that you've edited one of the videos and you won't even let him use the video of the debate. You won't let him use the video of the debate. You won't, and then you make statements like that. Mohammed Hijab, that's nasty, bro. That is really, really nasty, mate. And you're out of order for that. So they're at a new low, and I just don't want to get involved with these guys. They're not in my league. I'm a gentleman. I'll treat people I'm fair. You can use my video. If you have a debate with me, you can use my video. I'm not going to edit my video and try to change it, and I'm not going to threaten you or give you a veiled threat. And I'm not going to be secretly supporting some terrorist group, but then pretending to be something in public. You know what I mean? What you see is what you get. I'm just a Bible-thumping evangelical preacher who's a missionary in Ghana, who lectures in theology and does evangelism and street preaching and preaching. That's me. That what you see is what you get. Whereas the Islamic Dawah teams, there's more than meets the eye. They have an agenda to take over Britain, and they'll do it whatever way they can through taqiyya, lying, and deception and deceit. So I'm not prepared to play ball with these guys. I'm not prepared to go on the eDawah channel unless they absolutely made it clear that, number one, they renounce any sympathies to terrorism. Number two, they drop any personal attack on me. 3, they act like absolute gentlemen. And 4, they engage in a high-level scholarly academic discussion and not the childish antics that they've been getting up to over the last few weeks and months. The way they've dealt with the Gospel of Mark is absolutely atrocious. They have not dealt with the scholarship on Mark in any shape or form. They said they've discussed the date of Mark. I watched that, and they didn't discuss the date of Mark. There was a few comments by Ijaz Ahmed, and his comments were very, very poor and not very good. So I'm not prepared to lower myself to these low standards. So unless they change their tune, unless they come to a higher ethical standard in their debates, ethical standards in their conduct, then I'm not prepared to get my hands dirty with these people. I've got better things to do. And you can watch my information and the things that I put out, and you can enjoy them and find that what I'm saying and investigate it. And if I'm wrong, you can go and check it and find out for yourself. And that's more edifying. And the issue is about edification. What is edifying? It's not edifying to go on a show where they're just mocking you, laughing at you, and throwing dirt at you, and yet they're not willing to listen. They're not giving you a chance to get your points out. That's not edifying. And that's what my wife has said to me. It's not edifying. One of my friends has said it's not edifying. And it's not edifying. So why should I go on a show where I've spent 2 days? Why should I go on a show when I've spent 2 days? I spent 16 hours study to go on an Islamic show. So I spent 16 hours study to go on an Islamic show, only to get abuse, only to get laughed at, mocked at, and abused by the Dawah team on that show. Why should I spend 16 hours of scholarly research to refute what they say, to go on a show where they're laughing and mocking and abusing you? That's not edifying. It's not edifying them. It's not edifying you. It's just a cat fight, and it doesn't do any good. That's what happened when I was debating the atheists years ago. I spent hours debating, studying, but in the end, they wind you up, they get you upset, they try to get you angry, and then they say, and you're not able to get your point across because they're not really honest. So that's where I'm at there. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do a video now on the Gospel of Mark. I'm going to do a YouTube video now on the Gospel of Mark and do some study on the Gospel of Mark. So if you want to join me, you can join me in 5 minutes. I'll be doing a video here on the Gospel of Mark. But Islamic apologetics is it's a very all-time low. It's in the dirt. It's in the mire. They're doing taqiyya. They're lying to you. They are lying to you. They are deceivers, and they're deceiving you. They are deceiving you. They are telling you lies. Okay? They are deceiving you. They are telling lies. They have a desire to take over Britain, and they will do everything they can to lie to you, to present. What they do, like Hamza will take a group on to Hajj, and he'll have all these pictures and videos of these white guys with him, and then he said, look at you people in England, you white guys in England, do you want to be like us? We're having a great time, we're driving the bikes and that. But when Hamza is at Speaker's Corner, does he allow free speech? Does he debate the best Christians at Speaker's Corner? No. What does he do? He picks on young Christians who don't know anything. So there's deception there, there's deceit there. You see, deception and deceit all across the line, presenting a false Islamic presentation to you, but underneath there's deception and lies. Okay. Another example of deception and lies is on the issue of the Quran. The Muslims at Hyde Park and in the debates, they'll bring up textual variants of the New Testament. What about the last ending of Mark? What about the woman committing adultery? And they'll bring these things up. And here's the deception. What about the Quran? What about the textual criticism of the Quran? They won't talk about that. They won't even let you talk about that. They won't go into it. They won't tell you what manuscripts are behind the Quran, because they don't do that kind of scholarship, because they're deceivers. So there's double standards, there's deception going on all across the line. And then there are these dirty tactics. They even do the dirty tactics of one another. Look at Shamsi. Look at how Shamsi has been dirty towards their own Muslims. A Muslim apologist dies. A young man dies. A Muslim apologist dies, right? And Shamsi doesn't agree with this guy. So when the guy dies, rather than let the guy rest in peace and just respect his death, Shamsi wades in and attacks this guy who's died. So these Muslims don't even respect their own dead. They don't even respect their own dead. That's how dirty their tactics are. They'll even attack their own dead in order to get their point of view across. So you can't trust these people. I think just go on Shamsi's channel, find Shamsi's channel, but there are clips of it. Ali Dawa has made a video, and he shows the clip of Shamsi attacking this Muslim young man who's passed away. So if you go onto Ali Dawa's channel, you'll find the information there. But I think if you go onto Shamsi's channel, you'll find it. So they don't even respect their own dead. So how can we deal with these people? Unless they show a higher ethical standard and a higher honesty, like when you debate them, you should say, can we use the video? And if they say you can't have the video, you shouldn't debate them. Cosmic Skeptic. Yeah, that's another one. They twist the Quran. When you point out to them a Quranic verse, they twist it. They twist it. Look how they attacked Rabbi Zachariah. Rabbi Zachariah passed away, one of their main apologists, one of their main Islamic apologists, right? Who hangs around a lot of these Muslim apologists. Mustafa, right? He hangs around Ijaz and a lot of these apologists. He's always posting stuff every day, like attacking Christianity. You want to see what he said about Rabbi Zachariah? What he said about Rabbi Zachariah was absolutely disgusting. Rabbi Zachariah passed away, and the things that that guy said, that Muslim apologist said, it was disgusting. They don't even have respect for the dead. They don't even respect the dead. They don't even respect their own dead, such as Shamsi attacking that Muslim young man. That's where we're at. They're at a low ebb. And the other thing as well is that they love to show the converts, the English converts, you know, like Jordan. Jordan's on their show. Look, we've got Jordan. Jordan's a convert. He looks like a Tommy Robinson supporter. So they proudly put him on their show. Look, we've got Jordan. And Jordan, like a fool, falls for it. You know, he's like on their show, and he's just being used by them. Right? If he started asking them questions, they'd soon throw him under a bus. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take... Sorry about that. I know it's a bad habit, but it's the only thing that makes me feel English in Ghana. It just makes me feel English while I'm in Ghana. But what was I going to say? So they like showing these converts, right? These white converts, these English people on their channels, like, oh, this person has converted to Islam. But guess what? What they don't tell you is they have apostasy law. So once you're in Islam, you can't get out of Islam. They have an apostasy law. And that's all over the Islamic world. And that is, if you leave Islam, you can be killed if you leave Islam. So they proudly show, oh, this Muslim, this guy has become a Muslim in England. And all the English people say, oh, look at him. He looks like a Tommy Robinson supporter, but he's just been converted to Islam. That's interesting. And then they get these white guys doing apologetic videos, English white guys doing apologetic videos for Islam, who look like normal English blokes who go down to the local pub and stuff like that. And so the English blokes are looking like, look at these guys, these guys look like English, just ordinary English blokes, and they're Muslims. But what they don't tell you through the writing is you come into Islam, you can't leave Islam. If you leave Islam, we have an apostasy law, and if you leave, you can die. You can have your life taken. They don't tell you that. That's kept at the side. So there's a deception going on. They're showing all these English converts, but the reality is if any of those English converts leave, some of them could lose their life because of the apostasy law in Islam, which is all over the Islamic world. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, wherever. So there's deception going on. No Christian, if anybody leaves Christianity, there's no apostasy law. No one's going to kill you. So I'm going to have to go in a minute. because I've got a good friend of mine, Frank, phoning me, and then I'm going to do a Bible study. So I'm going to do a Bible study in a minute on the Gospel of Mark. So if you give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll be back. But my brother Frank from Holland just rang me, so I'm going to go and ring him now. And then I'll be back. I was going to break anyway at this time. I'm going to come back in 5-10 minutes, and we're going to do an overview of the Gospel of Mark and study the Gospel of Mark. So my official statement is, Ijaz, Hamza, others, I'm not going to get involved with you because you're too much. You're throwing too much dirt. And I'm a gentleman, and I want to do proper academic debates and studies. So there we are. So God bless you, love you, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm just going to phone Frank in Holland, and then I'm going to give a study on the Gospel of Mark. So love you all. God bless you. The Islamic Dawah teams are not at high academic standards and ethics, so we'll continue to lecture. If they want a debate, they have to allow, we can use the video. They have to be nice and gentlemanly. They have to renounce ISIS, and they have to engage in proper academic discussion at a very senior high level, not at the childish level that they're at the moment, and then we'll engage with them. So there we are. God bless you. We love you all, and we'll see you in 10 minutes. God bless you. If you get a cup of coffee, I'll be back in 10 minutes for the Gospel of Mark.